What's up, guys? Welcome back to Couch Cushions Podcast. You are now listening to episode number 4, which is called Rockin' 20s.
You get it? Rockin' 20s. It's kind of fun because it's a play on word. Because we're in our 20s and we live in Rochester and we're rocking it. I think this is a great episode. Like, I think just for the both of us, just because, like, I'm in my early 20s and you're in your mid 20s. We lived our life so differently and we have different perspectives, and like you already been through what I've been through at my age, and like me going through it right now. Like we have a good like little perspective going on.
But I mean, I guess we're just gonna guide them through our 20s.
Yes. Right.
You know, this is like Ned's, what is it? Ned's classified school survivor.
Yes, 20 survivor. Which is a really good idea. Like, we really do need something like that, because
and if you don't know that show, then you're not in your 20s.
Oh gosh.
I feel like all the little teeny boppers.
Yeah, they probably have no idea what it is, and I've seen every single episode of that.
Exactly. I wanted to be like that. Anyways, our 20s.
Our 20s. My thing about the 20s is like, or not the 20s, but like being in our 20s. And obviously I haven't lived much through mine, but I feel like even now there's like certain like expectations that I don't know if I'm meeting, you know, like the expectations versus the reality of being in your 20s, you know. I think like they always are like, have a house and kids and be married at 25. It's like,
if they only knew.
If they only knew. Like, don't you think it's a little unrealistic? Kind of.
No, I think it's totally unrealistic. Like,
but why do I know several people that do have that? So is it?
You know what? I feel like they expect a lot out of people in their 20s. And that, I don't see, I guess, okay, this is what I would say. I guess when you're younger, you think the 20s are old and you think you should be established in your 20s.
That's
like,
true.
I'm thinking myself as 13 and seeing someone that's like 21.
Okay,
I would automatically think that they should have their life together.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where the expectation comes from.
But you know what I mean? I also feel like it comes from older ones, not older ones, but like an older generation too. Because like you think back in the day,
I was just going to say that.
They were buying, like they were literally buying full houses or several of them, and like 25 and like very well established, you know, with stable jobs.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the same exact thing. Like I feel like the older generation were very established in their 20s because they had to be, and it was just a different generation. They were hardworking.
Yeah.
You know, not that we're not hardworking, but it's just different. Yeah. It's different. Like, they carried a load on their backs.
Yeah. And I do agree. Like, I love the fact that that happened and they could be that established at that age. Like, I think that's really awesome. And honestly, like, we're not doing too bad and it's definitely doable, but it was a different time, you know?
But then we have to come to the reality of where we are in our 20s and what the 20s really like mean and how we're experiencing it.
Right. No, and like you said, like when you're younger, you have this certain expectation. And like, definitely when I ended high school or like around that time, you know, they have you do your whole 5-year plan and everything like that. And honestly, I'm not too far off from it technically. And like 5 years, I don't know, it was like last year, maybe this year or something like that. A lot of the stuff that happened in the last 5 years, I did not expect. And like where I thought I would be right now isn't where I'm at. I feel like I'm at a good place right now, but it's not what I expected. And my 5-year plan that I had kind of set out for myself.
I don't think any of us expected to be here in our 5-year plan. Just with everything that's been going on. I don't think that.
Yeah.
But I totally understand that, because this is my thing. I feel that we were not prepared for the smack in the face that the 20s bring. No, I absolutely, okay, let's just think. And for me personally, I don't
Okay.
feel like I was prepared for what I was supposed to come into.
Okay.
Do I
Explain a
think that
little
my
more.
am I far off of my plans? I don't think I'm far off of my plans, but
Hmm.
I don't think that I've taken the route that I thought I would.
Okay.
And I will say that I have been a very cliche person in thinking, oh, at 21, I'm going to find a boyfriend and we're going to date for like 2 years. And then at 23, get married. And then at 25, I'm going to have 5 kids, 2 of my own, and adopt. Okay. And we're going to live in this big house and I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to be a stay at home mom. Okay.
Oh, wait, where did this accent come from?
Oh, I don't know. There was an accent.
There was an accent.
I had a plan down to the T, like what sports my kids were going to play.
No.
Yes, names,
Can you please tell the
like
name? I'm just curious.
so for the girl, I would thought Jazaniah. I don't know why I
Okay.
loved it, but I loved Jazaniah. And for the boy, I just wanted him to be a junior. Like I'm super basic, just make him a junior, you know?
Okay.
I was going to have my whole life figured out.
Wow.
Let's jump to 26. I don't even want to touch a child with a 12-foot pole.
Oh,
I don't even want to look at a child. I don't want to think about a child.
right.
I don't even want to think of a husband. I don't want to think of marriage. And guys, I know you're probably like, listen, you just said you wanted a husband like 2 episodes
I
ago.
was just gonna say
Shovel.
that. Which
Yes.
is it?
I like the thought.
Okay.
I like the thought, but
Yeah.
I'm chilling.
Right.
You know, like
I kind of feel that
I'm
way
big
too.
chill. I can't picture myself being with somebody right now. Like I don't
Mhm.
even think I'm halfway mature to even do that.
Right.
So,
That's so
it's
funny.
just
Life really changes though. Life
yes.
really changes and like it's definitely a lot of adapting and
Mm-hmm.
just rolling with things because you don't know where you end up. And I feel like I think for myself, like who I am is what I expected, and the things I'm doing, they're exactly how I planned out to be.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect to still be in Rochester, New York, though.
Mm.
That's one thing I will
Yeah.
say. I would think I would be like in New York somewhere in like obviously like the Walker Patterson area. I'm happy I'm here though. You know,
Right.
because I will say like it's been a blessing. Like I definitely would not have been ready to be down there, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I would have
Mm-hmm.
handled it just fine, but I don't know the way I live my life is exactly how I expected to live my life. So I will
Right.
say like that's one thing like I was kind of prepared for and that I did put in my 5-year plan like and it was a very 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 strict 5-year plan and
Yes. I
it
know how you
was
are. You're very like
this is what I'm
this is
doing
yeah,
and
for
I'm
sure.
gonna accomplish this and
Yes.
nothing's gonna stop me. Like I'm very
Yep.
determined and like very rigid when it comes to things like but I will say like there are some unexpected things that like come up obviously and like things that change and you do have to be prepared for it. And one thing I will say is like I don't necessarily know like so far it's been good with my plan but maybe in the near future it might change, which is another
Mm.
big thing. I have to learn how to like kind of be comfortable with that because it's like you never know like when you're in the 20s
Right.
and like there's
Where
so
you're gonna
many
end up.
different variables and like things to do and figuring out like what you want to do next with your life.
What do you think is the biggest misconception of adulthood?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm trying to think. There's so many things they tell you.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like I gotta think about that one. You tell you tell me yours first because
Mm,
what is
I
the biggest
think
misconception?
I think for me, and it's not even set at 20s. I think for me is when you're 18, you're grown and you
Okay.
automatically become an adult. It's kind of like, oh, you graduate from being a child, and
Mm.
automatically people think that you should know what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
when you turn 18. And I think that's the biggest misconception because we've been children for the last, and I'm going to say 18 is a child because right now I feel like 18, you're still a child at
Oh
this point.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But we lived the last 18 years as children, and you think that as soon as we turn 18, that we automatically know how to live life as an adult. No, there's
Mhm.
no way. We have to figure things out. And so I feel like that's the biggest misconception that, oh, 18, I'm moving out, I'm getting my apartment, I'm an
Right.
adult, I can do this, I can do that, and I'm going to succeed at it because I already know what to do.
Yeah, I definitely think like at 18 you do, and people who are 18, like not even what people think 18-year-olds should do, but like people who are those kids or young adults who are 18, they do believe that they do know it all. And a lot of them do move
Yes.
out like they do it. I don't know how successful, but yeah, I do think that is something that like you kind of feel you're supposed to know exactly what you're doing with your life. And
Right.
that's not always the case. Like I feel like at that time, I'm doing exactly what I expected to be doing since I was 16 years old, you know? Like, man, like,
Yeah.
is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, you will question it every once in a while, but it's hard to know when you're so young and you don't have that much life experience and you're expected to go to school and
And think that we have it all figured out because I'm telling you, wait, do you have your misconception?
not yet.
Okay. I'm going to tell you that nobody prepares us for adulthood. And this is where
What?
I'm going to
I'm
go
not
into
gonna say
my
that.
this is where I'm going to go into my school education system rant because
Okay.
I feel very strongly about this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the educational system for us is just totally like wrong. It's just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wasn't bad in school. I was okay in school. I was good, but I don't feel like it prepared us for what most of us would will be. Why is there not a class to teach us about finances? I think that's my biggest thing is that
Mm.
I wish that the educational system will teach people about finances.
Mm-hmm.
I should have been graduating at the age of 18 knowing how to write a check,
Wait.
opening up a bank account. I mean, of course I knew how
Oh,
to do those things.
oh, okay.
I knew
I
how to
did
do
take a
those
class
things.
though that did have some of that in there. Like I took a an extra class that did have that.
Where back in 7th grade because I took home
No, I took
economics
it
and like
in my what year was it? Maybe my junior year of high school. Not my
mhm,
junior, my sophomore year, I want to say, of high school. They had one for half
mhm.
the year and they switched it with like the computers class. Like it was half that, half like a
Oh,
financial
okay.
one.
Yeah.
Um, so they did offer that at my school,
Right.
you know.
But I'm just saying in just general in other
That's true.
schools.
A
I
lot of
feel
people
like
don't
people
know.
a lot of people don't know. And if you don't have like I've been raised to be independent, so I knew how to do those things.
Hmm.
But I'm just talking about just regular finances like retirement or
That's true.
how to save your money even though
Hmm.
you can't learn that in school but it's good to go over it
Right.
or because I haven't been the most financially stable or smart person because
Hmm.
I didn't learn that from my family and I didn't learn it in school. So how am I supposed to come out of here and being like I know what to do with all this adult money because
Right.
pretty much as soon as you turn 18 for me, go get a credit card, start building your credit. This is how you do it.
Oh,
And it's all of the wrong ways. I was never taught how to use a credit card. So of course I
no.
go and max it out because I was never taught that.
Mm.
I just simply wasn't.
See, I
I
do
don't
have
know, but
mixed
I just
opinions
feel
about
like
this.
we just not taught.
I will say, like, a lot of it I didn't learn in school, but my parents taught me, and they're
Right.
really good with money. And so I did learn how to properly use a credit card, and I did learn how to save money very well. And I learned how to be financially stable and pay my bills on time and things like that. And another thing they taught me, like, my parents obviously are always supportive of me, but they were like, "Oh, if you want to go to college, you pay for it yourself. Like if I want
Mm-hmm.
anything, I have to pay for it myself because you tend to take it for granted if you don't,
Absolutely.
you
Yep.
know? And it's my schooling, it's my education. So why would I not why would I not pay for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously if I ever need help, like I can always rely on my parents and like they treat me well, but for my own expenses, I pay that forward and I learn how to budget and I learn how to save and they they taught me at a young age how to budget and pay bills and save money so I could be responsible. And when I am, or when I turned 18 or 17 is when I graduated high school, that I was prepared for the real world. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I will say, like, that's not something I necessarily learned in school.
Okay. I will say that both of our schools offered the amazing program of taking a trade
Mm-hmm.
in school for free, which was awesome. And I'm
Yeah,
glad that both of us took advantage of that, though, right?
yeah, no, we both did. And I think, like, I think school did prepare me for a lot. Like, it gives you a good schedule. It gives you like a good amount of knowledge. Like, I love learning. I love being in school. I think I learned a lot from my time in school. Um, and I
Oh, that's
think
the
it,
difference. I went to school to socialize.
yeah,
Go ahead.
no, I went to learn,
I was,
and like that's
yeah, I
all
went
I
to
went
school to have
for.
fun.
Oh no. Yeah, no,
Literally.
I was like, I was in school to learn and like handle my business and like get out of there, you know? And so like, and I'm happy like the grade I was in, so many of did that trade school. And it's like I did it because they offered it to me my junior and senior year of high school. So I just did it in my junior year so I would have a half schedule in my senior year and
Right.
just not go to school all the time and use my time for other things. So when I did it in my junior year, the course I took was dental assisting. It was a year program and it was free. And I'm like, okay, well, if I don't want to do this, I can obviously do something else the next year or even out of
Right.
school. But if I do like it, that was free
You just got
schooling
free.
for
Yeah,
me.
you just got
It's a
free
free
schooling.
trade.
Right.
And thankfully, I loved it. And that's what I've been doing the last couple of years. And it worked out really well that like I graduated school at 17. Well, I became certified at 16. I graduated high school at 17 and I got a job and I've been working in that same career and I really enjoy it.
Right.
Obviously, that's not everyone's story, but I will say like it is always nice having free schooling and like to just take advantage of it if you
Right.
can.
I did the same thing. I
Mm-hmm.
took the nursing assistant program,
Oh.
but my thing was graduate with a job because I was working at McDonald's for 725 and then I turned around and I was working as a nursing assistant and boy, do I not recommend that job. One
Oh.
star does not recommend because my back was killing me as if I felt like I was 21 and I felt like I was a 40-year-old. Literally. That's why I made the
40
decision to do the
young.
dental assist. Like it was crazy. And now I absolutely love my job and don't know why I mean, I knew why I didn't do it
Right.
because they didn't offer it, but
still $7,000, like
that's still bread.
right, you know, you make it back and it's because what it was, how long was that one? Like year and a half?
6 months.
Oh no, it was 6 months. I'm thinking the
Six
opposite.
months.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you did that for 6 months, you paid the money and you got a job that you
And
really
got a
enjoy.
job.
And
Yeah.
it's way cheaper than college.
Than going to college. And I
Way
enjoy what
cheaper.
I do. And I have that's one thing that I think we both experience. We have the freedom
Yeah.
to do what we want to do with the job profession that we have.
Yes.
And I know your freedom's a little bit more than my freedom because
Mhm.
I didn't make such wise financial steps. So I've gotten myself in some debt, which thanks to the governor and them corona checks, I have paid most of it off.
Ooh.
But still trekking.
Yeah.
But just the financial freedom and the freedom that we have to go and travel, which
Mhm.
check out our last podcast. With that, I feel like it's okay to navigate through your young adulthood, even
Mhm.
into your 20s. And also, things just change. Things change. I will say, I thought I knew everything at 21. I thought who I would love for the rest of my life at 21. I thought what job I wanted to do at 21. I thought the
Right.
way I felt would never change.
Right.
And it is true. When you turn 25, it's like, whoa,
Oh,
I
that's
can't
true.
believe I thought like that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Uh-huh.
And then you're closer to 30 and you're like, wait, I got to put a move on it. I'm supposed to be a real adult at 30.
Right.
like I gotta rush. I gotta go,
Right,
because
right.
I'm turning 27 in 2 months.
You
Feel
are?
like I should be 27. Yeah, I'm turning 27 in 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't
I'm
realize that.
crying.
So just be like flexible
Yep.
with yourself and don't be so like it's just important not to be so hard on yourself if things don't go the exact way you want it to go.
Right. We're all just trying to figure out this thing called life.
That's so true.
That's really what it is. We're just trying to figure every day is learning. And
Right.
being in the workforce, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Maria, today, like, I don't know what it was about today, but I stood at the computer today at work. And meanwhile, let's just say I had yesterday off and
Hmm.
I only worked a half day today.
Right.
I stood at the computer today and I was like, I don't think I want to work anymore. I'm done. I was like, I'm done with working. I am over it. I'm done. I
Yeah.
just want to quit. I will quit. Like I was in the mood to quit today.
I think
Like,
we all will like I felt that and
and
I have like I think my job is like one of like a perfect
yeah,
job, you know? But
yeah.
like I love where I work and the people I work with, but some days it's just like I can't do this anymore. I
And
can't do this anymore.
and it wasn't even a bad day. Today,
Yeah.
what like I'm telling you, I went into work at 1:30 and was
Mhm.
straight chilling. I don't even know if I work at work, but I was just straight chilling and I had a good
Right.
day. And at just one point at the end of the day, I was just like, I can walk away from this and be okay.
Yeah, no, I
And so what's so
definitely
funny
feel
is
you. And you know what? I think like my feelings on this have definitely gotten worse after COVID.
mhm,
Thankfully, my situation, or I think both of ours, was not as bad as most Americans, where
yes.
we had enough and honestly, at times, a surplus just
Yes,
because
we
of
were
those
living the
extra.
Kardashian life. Yes.
We were looking like Kardashians, just making money, sitting at home, living our best lives. And I
Yes.
loved it. And it
Me
felt like
too.
an early retirement.
It
And
did.
I never, I always say I lived my early retirement. And,
Maria, yes.
and
You
yeah, no, it really felt like that. And I don't think I've ever been so happy. Now, I will say this because it was a hard time on a lot of us and it was very serious and don't want to downplay that, and I do feel to
mm,
some extent, and I want to touch on this later, that I lost a year of my life,
yeah.
but I never got bored.
Right.
I never got bored. I was
Me
having so much fun.
so much. I was out here paying $15 an hour 3 times a week to learn Korean. I was living my bestest
Right.
life in the world.
Yes, I was doing art and crafts. I was buying plants.
Yes.
I always had something to do. I felt like I
Yes.
watched movies, I read books,
Yeah,
things
girl,
I wouldn't be able
talk
to do
about it.
before. I
Yes.
studied, like I was living my best life,
Yes. Yeah.
time
After
of my
girl, hold on,
life.
wait. We was working out, doing Pilates in the
We was doing
morning.
Pilates in the
We was
morning,
doing
like
Pilates. We were
let me
out
tell you.
here. Like we weren't legit outdoors, but we was in our house out here.
Man, like imagine I feel like that was our prime. It was the best. And I'm going to go off of that because this is something I want to talk about too. Like I said before, I do think COVID robbed me of a year of my life. Our big trip to Asia.
Yes.
Other than that, I didn't have much planned, but I feel like I could have used the time. Like I could have used the time to
Right.
do things. And I feel like not only did we lose out on hanging out with friends and like just fun little adventures and things we do,
Hmm.
but like big goals, like I feel like the year was lost. But I will say at the same time, like you said, benefits to that year was being home. You could work on yourself, and
Absolutely.
I think that's a big thing, is to always be working on yourself and being a better person and realizing like who you are and the habits you have, and
Hmm. Hmm.
just constantly trying to be a better person. And but 2020 itself, like it was like a cocoon. Like you really had time to yourself to just work on yourself. Like that's what that year was all about. And like
Right.
what better timing, you know?
Right. So I will say that I was able to sit back and analyze where I was and that this was my one ticket out of the position that I put myself in
Mm-hmm.
with debt.
Mm-hmm.
because, I was out here paying off that debt, I gave away my car because I was like, I'm not going to pay car payments because I wanted to free myself up for
Right.
different opportunities, like
Mm-hmm.
going up to the Patterson Walk Hill area. I'm so happy that it happened in my 20s,
Right.
and that I was in, and it wasn't my early 20s because I wasn't as mature as you are in your early 20s. Okay, let's talk about it. 20,
Okay.
21, 22.
20.
What
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
what was Maja spending her money on?
Sneakers, outfits,
Other people,
other other people, which is not
other
a bad thing. You're
people,
very generous, but
but generous to
to a
people that don't
fault.
care about me.
Yeah,
You know
to
what I
a
mean?
fault. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And then spending money on people that do care about me, but you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I was out here
Yeah.
buying sneakers every single week, and not like
Yeah.
Bobo sneakers from Walmart, like J's, Jordans that cost like over
Right.
$100 just to
Right.
go with an outfit that I wanted to go watch somebody play ball in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just to sit there and flex, buying watches for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, like, if I was Maja back then and got all of this money,
Right.
I would have blew it.
Yeah.
And that's why I said you just grow as a person, you know?
Yeah, no, that's true. And that's why I love this discussion. I love that we have our different perspectives because again, like we lived our lives differently and you have that perspective and you
Yeah.
can give that advice and that little wisdom that you have how to like
Yeah.
well, I want to talk about it took for two of our friends from a whole nother state across the
Right.
US to really get me to appreciate where I'm living and where I'm at right now. Like
Yep.
they explore Rochester as they should and several areas in Western New York. They made me, I feel like, enjoy our city more and give me
Yes.
a whole different perspective. And I'm really grateful for that because, like, now in our 20s and living where we are in the 20s, we have seen and done so much more,
Exactly.
and I think that's really important. It's just enjoying the time you have now and enjoying where you are living and what
Yes.
you're doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Having fun as an adult is so different than having fun as a teenager
So much better.
because you have the freedom to explore your city.
Hmm.
You can do all of these different events. You can drive yourself to all of these different
You can
events. You
pay
can
for it
pay for
yourself.
yourself. Exactly. And the same thing, those two girls really opened up our city.
Yeah, because like it's like, oh, it's Rochester. Like
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
we all.
What are you gonna do? Go to the mall, go to Horizon Fun Effects.
And it's like we live in one of the most unique cities I think that
Yes.
there
If you
are.
just take a little time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
And so
like
much stuff to explore.
so much, and it's like
Right. And that's because le- our taste has changed
that's true.
in what we view as fun.
I don't know, different places and like enjoying good music and good art
Exactly.
and what's it called? The orchestra, the RPO, and
Yes. Your
I don't
taste just
know.
change. You find different things in life that you're like, I enjoy this. Like I
Yeah,
think of the jazz festival.
yeah,
Never in a million years would I go to a jazz festival.
no,
But no, like I'm just thinking, like, as
yeah,
a teenager,
hmm,
would we go to a jazz festival? Like, oh, let's go to the no. But as an adult, I'm like, that is one of the events I wait for every
you
single
do,
year
yeah, no, it's true,
because
and I agree with that.
and I just like to get myself a folding chair, sit in the middle of Gibbs Street, down right next to Java's, and just jam out.
Right,
And just boogie
right.
and eat triple price the food that we can get from down the street.
Oh, it's so ridiculous, so
Right.
ridiculous. No,
But sometimes it just tastes better when it costs like $8 million. But
no, it doesn't.
no, it really
I don't
doesn't.
know, low key it might, but no, it doesn't.
But yeah, I think it's just that.
I don't know. I just feel like in my 20s, like I definitely am a lot more slow paced.
Yes.
Like I feel like high
Yes.
school, like I leave the house at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning and hang out,
Yeah.
go to Denny's or something.
Oh boy,
That
do I
was
miss those nights.
those were fun nights. But
Those
now I'm like, I try to get ready for bed at 7:30 to be in my bed
yes.
at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
That's how I live my 20s. And I'll go out, but like I'm not a concert person in general though. I do
Hmm.
not like concerts.
Yeah,
But
you
like
don't. Yeah.
I don't. I'm sorry. But like those big events that's like loud and like loud, I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't, and that's just, and I really do think that's a personal preference.
Hmm.
But I can't do stuff like that. Like I just want something nice and low key and fun and kind of
Hmm.
intimate, you know?
Right.
And to take the time out to do fun and interesting things like that with like a
Right.
small group of friends.
And I think that for me is so true. Like
Hmm.
I am a lot slower. I can be in the bed, like sleep by 9.
Yeah.
There's no way in my early 20s, and you know this, I used to be able to go from New York City,
Yes.
ride and back, get back in Rochester at like 6:30 and go straight to work
You
and
did.
work easy, easy. I'm telling you,
Crazy.
once I turned 25, it was like a light switch went off and said, oh boy,
Yeah.
yeah, you got to go to bed at 10 o'clock. Like, if you're not in the bed by 10 o'clock, you're going to have a bad day. You
Right.
know, it
That's
was
so
one of those things,
funny.
it just flipped. And I'm like, yo,
You know me, but I've been like this
mhm,
before my 20s, but like not having my 8 hours of sleep is not a good
no,
idea for me. Like everyone knows, like, don't text me past 9:30 or 9 o'clock. Like
right,
I would rather people not text me past 7 just because I want to get ready for bed. Or
right.
FaceTime me, don't come over. Like
Yeah,
I am so strict about it because I know myself and I know my body, and my body says you need 8 hours, nothing
right.
less, you know?
Yeah. Before we end the podcast, before we get out of here, I want to know how has your fashion changed from being in your 20s? I really want to talk fashion real quick because I want to know how
Oh
your fashion has changed.
no.
I want to know all of those fun things. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do think we should talk about like more fun things because that's some of us really serious or like in
yeah,
life and life and life.
yeah.
Definitely style has changed. I You know what? And I will say this because I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know. Obviously, like I am very comfortable where I'm at, and I'm also very cheap. So
Hmm.
take this with a grain of salt. But like, if I had more money, I definitely would dress a different way. You know, like, and not that I don't have money, and I probably can afford to dress how I want to, but I'm so
Yeah.
cheap, I don't feel like it. But yeah, no, I feel like it's constantly changing, and it's still my. And I think to myself, like sometimes I'm like, should I still be wearing hoodies? Like, is that a bad thing? I don't know. Like,
It's never a bad thing.
I don't see, like, I don't know. Like, is it still like, is that still cool? Like, can I still wear
Right.
hoodies? And I feel like with this younger generation that's like, oh, no more skinny jeans. It's like,
Yeah. What's up?
I
I
don't
love my
know.
skinny jeans.
But
Like,
at the same time, like, I did go through a phase where I did not wear skinny jeans, and I'm kind of still looking about that. I really like my little wide leg pants or my straight legs,
right, right.
So I'm kind of like with that, or maybe I was ahead of the trend. I don't know.
Oh
Um,
boy.
so I don't know. That's constantly changing. Um,
I think for me, my fashion definitely has changed. And I don't know if it's been for the good because I am a lot more relaxed than I used to be. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I am. Yeah, exactly. Let's just call it what it
Yes.
is. I am so much more relaxed than I used to be. Because I would get dressed up for any and everything. A game night at your house, I'm buying a new outfit. A game night at somebody else's house, I'm
Yes.
buying a new outfit. Like
Anything you would shop for.
anything, I would literally dress to the nines for.
And so I will say, I don't know if it's good or bad. It's probably good for your pockets, but
It's just right.
if
I
I see
one I
another sweatsuit, I'm going to go crazy. Like if I see you in another sweatsuit, Maisha, it's not good, you know? It's not gonna be a
so
good thing.
I have become extremely comfortable. I wear sweats and I would prefer to buy a sweatsuit instead of something nice now. Um it's my thing. That's what I wear. My friends hate it. They want to burn it. They want to have a
Hate it.
bonfire with my sweatsuits.
Mhm.
It's a running joke, especially if you check out our pictures from Texas. How do you feel your outlook on friends has changed?
Oh, this is a good.
since
This is a
since being in your 20s or
no,
whatever.
yeah. I was gonna say this is a really good point to make. Being in your 20s, what you think or how you view friendship definitely changes.
Right.
Definitely changes 100%. Like, and I don't know if my friendships have changed, but my viewpoint of them, like, I felt like when I was younger, I think like early high school years, I felt like I needed to hang out with everybody, and I felt like everybody
Yes.
needed to be my friend. And I will say, thankfully, like, it seems a little strict, but my mom growing up wouldn't allow me to just hang out with everybody. Like, I had fun and I did hang out with a lot of people, but there were
Mhm.
certain times where I was told not to.
Right.
I think growing up, I always had like a small group of friends. I had the same childhood best friend since I was like a baby. I grew
Right.
up with this one girl, and we're friends to this day.
Mhm.
And same with another friend that like came on, and we were like a group of three, and we would have other close friends that we would hang out with. But it was never a huge group of people I would hang out with. And still to this day, like I have people I'm just very close to, and it's definitely a small
Mhm.
circle of people. And I don't know if it's because one, I'm really bad at keeping in touch with my friends. I'm really sorry.
Mhm.
Um, but like the people who I'm close to and I hang out with regularly, it's a small group of people. I'm not just hanging out with everybody, but the people who I've been friends with for years, I'm still close with. Like I
Right.
might not hang out with them every day, I might not talk to them every day, but I definitely value the people in my life and the
Mhm.
people I have been close to either one time or another. And
I love that you had that experience because I thought everyone was my friend.
mm-mm, mm-hmm,
Everybody was my friend. Everybody was my best friend.
right. Oh
Like
no, yeah,
it was crazy. I hung
yeah.
out with everybody and their moms.
Mm-hmm.
I went on vacations with people. I still have a tight club, and you do have to wear a jacket to be in my travel friend club.
Oh
Um,
my
just
gosh.
as a disclaimer.
Right.
But um, yeah, it just I was all over the place. And
Right.
that ended up getting me to eat some humble pie and
Yeah.
say, hey, not
Mhm.
everybody is your friend. These are your core people because who you thought was your friends will either talk behind your back or do something shady or you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
you can't be friends with everybody because everybody's not good for you.
No, I will say that, and like I'm very grateful, like at a very young age I could see people for what they were.
Which
Um
it takes me a long time to see
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. Like I see it immediately.
You and your mom are both good at that because I remember when I was going through a situation, 2 years ago or something like that, and somebody stopped talking to me or whatever. And I came to you and your mom and I was just like, yo, this person like treat me like trash, like after everything I've done for them and
Mhm.
this and other. And y'all like, we can read that person through and through. We don't know why you was friends with them, but
Right, right.
I don't know why you're surprised. And I'm
That's
like,
so
y'all not
funny. I don't
surprised?
even
It's
remember
like,
who we're
no,
talking about, but I'm sure that really did
yeah.
happen just
It was
because.
just like, y'all was just like, yeah, nah, we saw that from her. And I'm like, how? I
Yeah.
didn't see it, but y'all have that. I don't. They will show you who they are from the
What isn't
beginning.
it Maya Angelou, or maybe it's not. Oh gosh, I'm probably misquoting somebody, but they say like when someone shows you who they are, believe it.
Believe it.
You know,
Yes.
and I think that's really important just because.
Our 20s are definitely different than everybody else's 20s and will be different than anybody else's 20s,
Right.
but we're just like you said, we're out here, we're trying to navigate life and we're trying to get through it. And I hope that people learn things from this.
Right. No, yeah. And I think we put a lot of good lessons in here and a lot of good advice. Obviously, you don't have to listen to anything we say because I mean, we're just going through
But
it at the
listen,
same time as you. But listen, we're
listen
all
like your
going.
name is Beyonce.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Um, yeah, maybe we should have like maybe some 30 or 40 years old should have made this episode who have better advice and more wisdom than we do. But I mean, that's too bad. We're doing it. And so
You're stuck
hopefully
with us.
you're stuck with us. So hopefully we're not gonna like ruin your life and make you make all the wrong decisions. Take it with a grain of salt,
Right.
definitely. But
It's kind of like when you say, it's kind of like when you be like, that's just my advice, but IDK though. So
bye.
this whole episode is IDK though.
But hopefully you learned something or that we said something kind of wise and in this episode. But honestly, the 20s, as in the year for us, they're only, or the decade, the 20s are only beginning. This is just the start of it. So take it easy, guys. Have fun, enjoy it, live your best life.
Just live your life. Hey.
It's not a song or not a real episode until you sing a song.
Right.
No, seriously though. But yeah, enjoy your 20s, enjoy the 20s, and rock it out.
And make sure you follow us on social media at Couch Cushions Podcast on Instagram. Check out our YouTube and check out our website. Also, leave a review for us as well. Rate us, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Either way, we love you guys and deuces.
Bye.